Welcome back guys, you are watching Rising Kudosira and in this video we are going to know about useEffect hook in React. Before this video we have seen how we can install the React, then how we can create components, different types of components in React, and also we have seen useState hook, props in React, and we are going to have various concepts on React. So please do subscribe if you are new to this channel and mark the playlist. So inside this video we are going to know about useEffect, how we can make a request to backend and how the data comes from backend, and also with this we are going to see different types of examples of useEffect. So let's get started guys for today's video. Simply I have an app.js file, and inside this I have just written a simple hello world. I have written here I'm going to create here useEffect hook. So I'm going to say useEffect. To create useEffect hook you just need to say useEffect, and if you see as I write use VS Code is going to suggest, I'm going to click enter, so it will get imported automatically from React. We need to make a parenthesis, and instead this I'm going to create an arrow function which is created in this way, and here I'm going to have an array. So I'm going to give a comma and an empty array, so it will execute only when the component gets loaded. So for example, I'm going to say console.log. I'm going to print a message when the component loads or when we come to the page. So I'm going to say console.log. Here I'm going to pass a message that runs only on first render. So as user comes here, and if I come on the page, if I just refresh the page, inspect, and then I can come inside console, I can see here there are different errors. We'll not talk about it. So if I refresh the page, I'm able to see runs only on first render. So why this is printed two times? That is due to here if I come inside VS Code and come inside main.jsx, we have a strict mode where we develop any application like the React application. So we can just remove it by just commenting it. And as I come on the page, next time it will be like just one time. To comment stick mode is not a good approach. We are going to remove it. So use effect at this point will just execute first time whenever the page is loaded, and whatever the code inside it will be there. Like let's give an alert, then it will also display first render. This is the message which I'm trying to display. Okay, I'm just going to refresh the page first, so we can just see first render. I'm going to click OK, and then it is also going to log inside the console. The next concept here we are going to talk about is when we are going to have a count or we are going to have a particular state, and on that particular state when it gets changes, then we need to run use effect. That means we have a dependency. So we'll talk about this. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to create here a div. Okay, and inside this we are going to pass this h1 tag, and let's create a button right over here. I'm going to say button, and I'm going to say here increment. Simply a message inside this button will be increment. Now as I make this button, I just want on click, if anyone clicks on this, before clicking this I need to create here a variable. I'm going to say constant, or let's make a let. I'm going to say count comma set count is equal to, we are going to say use state. So in previous video, we have already covered this example. So please do watch that video so that it will be very, very easy for you. So we are having here count variable and set count. Using set count, we just update the count. For example, initial count, I'm going to give like 0. I can just access using a variable which is available here, count. So I'm going to make a curly brackets and I'm going to say count. Okay. And here we are going to say, we are going to have an arrow function, and I'm going to say set count in bracket count plus 1. Simple as that. Let's put it inside h1 heading. Whatever this variable is, I'm going to cut and paste it over here. And this thing which is working here, I'm just going to remove the alert. Let the console be as it is. So if I come on the page, I just refresh the page. So I am able to see runs only on first render. Now as I click, the 0 will be updated to 1. The current state is 1. Similarly, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have already seen in previous video, guys. If you are not watched, please do watch this video. Now the states are getting changed. Now what I want, use effect code should execute when the state gets changed. So what I can do, I'm going to create another use effect. You can create multiple use effects. So here I'm going to say use effect, and similarly, whatever the code we have written, arrow function, similarly we are going to use it over here. Now, as I come on this page, I just want to see that as the changes are made inside use effect, I just want when the count gets changed from 0 to 1 or whatever the value was previously, it should be changed. So I just wanted to print a message like count whenever the information we put inside use state and any changes happen, that particular component only gets re-railed. So here what I'm going to say, count was say render, and I will just add a he before it, comma. I can just pass count also. I just wanted the count also. What was changed? Okay. So as I come here, I just need to come here and need to give a comma and the square brackets, and inside this whenever the count is going to update I want to execute this. That means the dependency, as the count gets changed, whatever the value, if it gets changed, then this code will execute. So I'm going to refresh the page and the initial stage of count is 0. Okay, and as the count is 0 it will be displayed count was re-rendered. Okay, and runs only on first render. This will obviously get executed only when the page is getting loaded. Now if I click on increment, the count will get increment, state will get changed. So as I click it will get changed, and you can just see count was re-rendered. And what is the current value? It is 1. If I click again it will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this will just execute when the count will get updated. Okay, count will get updated, then only this code will execute. This code will execute only when the component is loaded. Now we have third method also, in which what will happen, it will execute whenever anything will happen, whenever any update will happen, then it will execute. So I'm going to say use effect. Okay, so when you don't pass the square brackets, that means dependency array we can say. So we don't pass it, so it will execute on anything, whatever the page gets changed, it will execute compulsory. So I'm going to say console.now. So I'm going to say runs on every render. Okay. So as I come on the page, I'm going to refresh the page first of all and runs on every render. This will execute on. See, if I click on increment also, this will execute. Okay. And also the count will get increment. So 1, and you can just see runs on every render. Similarly, count was updated to 2, runs on every render. That means this is the hook. When you don't pass the dependency array, it will render whenever any changes happens on your website or inside that component. Now here guys, we are already having a backend which is index.js. So simply what I did here is I'm having a backend. So as I make a request like slash users, we are going to talk about backend. We are going to have playlists. We are going to know about all these things in upcoming videos. We'll have these videos on backend also, Node.js, and already I have created one project, a small project like to-dos application. So we have tried about APIs, how it is created, how we are getting request response. So basic project we have already created, so you can go inside that playlist and watch it out. So as I make request to slash users, I'm able to see constant users. This is an array which is having like serial number, user ID, user name, phone number, email address. So I have created it using ChatGPT. So I just asked him to, like, I'm having these types of data and I wanted it. So around 20 or something like. Okay, response dot send. So what is the response? It is sending like users. Okay, users are being sent. So here is the users array, which we are sending it from here. From where? Here. The port is like 5000. The server is started and this message is displayed. Quite simple backend we have created. And we'll talk about it. We'll start it later on. First, let's go inside app.js. Let's try to make an use effect and make a call to backend. I'm going to say use effect and create an arrow function, and make sure that creating this is very essential. So if you don't pass this array, it will re-render on every change. Server will have a lot of efforts. It will struggle for all the renders. So please note that keep this array in your project. So you need to download Axios if you don't have Axios. So Axios is like if I want to make any request to backend, it is like an library. So you can go inside git bash or whatever your terminal, you can open it and simply you can download it inside your project directory. You just need to say npm install Axios is the package name. You can just say npm install Axios. It will start installing. Already I have installed this. So as user comes on my website, I want use effect to execute. It should make a backend request and get all the data and it should show to the user. So I'm going to say here Axios. So as I enter Axios, okay, it will just get imported over here. So whatever we have used like useState, it is also imported here. Then use effect also, it is imported here. Now I'm going to say Axios dot get request, because if I come inside the back, you can see app.get, it is a get request. So I can just come here, I can just say axios.get and I can pass like I just want to make or local post So 5,000 slash users. And also I'm going to add STD. So this was the link which I have just added, which will make a request to backend. So it is HTTP, it is not HTTPS because it's locally right now. Hypertext transfer protocol, localhost 5,000 slash users, because we are having slash users route. Okay, slash users as the request come. So I'm going to say here simply, I'm going to have a promise. I'm going to say dot them whatever the response and dot catch if there is an error. If there is any error, I just wanted to log it over here. So whatever the response is, I just wanted to print it first. Console.log. I'm going to say response simply. Now whatever the error is there, I can just say console.log simply error. So I can able to see inside console. We are just debugging my project error. Okay, simply. I'm just going to pass it. And I'm just going to refresh the page. As I refresh the page, okay, here I am able to see my project errors. So it was like network error. Mostly we have not start the backend. So this is the error, and it is saying error connection refused. So we start the backend. I'm going to have another git bash terminal here, or you can open normal terminal, PowerShell terminal, or CMD, no problem. So as I come here, I need to move inside that folder. So ls, so I'm in backend folder, cd backend. I'm going to say node index.js. Okay. Whether this is we can I increase this up? JS. Node index.js. It will start. Okay. Server started and port 5,000. Now, as I come on the page, as I refresh the page, you can just see we are able to see the data. Inside data, we are able to see this 20 information we are getting right now over here. Okay. So I'm just going to increase the size. From this 0, if I expand it, I'm getting the email ID, I'm getting phone number, serial number, user ID, etc., etc., username. Similarly, you can just see on one index also, two index also. So we are getting data from backend and it is stored inside array. Okay, you can as inside each in array of it will stored that array inside object format. Okay. So I can just come here, I'm going to say let users, comma set users is equal to useState. By default, the initial stage we are going to keep the empty array. So that's all. And we are going to set it from here. If I just want to log the like data, so I can just say response.data. Okay. So as I come on the page, as I refresh the page, I will just get the 20 arrays, whatever they are, just the data, their indexes. And if I come inside this is inside the object format. Okay, fine. So the data which we are getting here, we are going to store it inside users. Okay. And it is inside array. And we are going to store it using set users method. So here I can just come and I can just say set users and I'm going to say response dot data. So using set users, what we have just said, response dot data, whatever the data we were getting, we are going to just put it inside this variable. Okay, this is just updated right now. So I'm going to create a separate, already I'm having a component folder. Inside this, I'm going to have users.js, users.jsx file, and I'm going to say enter. Okay, you just say export default function users and here it's like a function. So we'll just have like this. And here we're going to return whatever we I'm just going to create here starting and closing brackets because here we are going to render a lot of things. After this increment, I'm going to import it here. So I'm going to say users. Okay. So it will get imported. If I come on the top, you can just see users is imported over here. And inside this users, already the data we have stored it inside this variable. So I'm going to just pass it from here using props. So it's like an attribute. We will just talk about it. So simply I'm going to say here users, this is an attribute. And inside this, we want like users, whatever we have already created using useState. And this information will pass to this and we'll put it here like props. Already we are having props and as I come inside app.js, I'm going to see these users. We are just passing it over here attribute. So if I come here, I can just say props dot users dot map. It is the function. And here I'm going to pass here an arrow function. Okay. So whatever the data we are getting inside array. So like 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, 3 index. So it will map individual user, just user. We are getting users, multiple users. We just want one individual user. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to say div, and we need to pass here a key when we talk about unique ID we want. So here for right now, I'm going to pass here with user index, whatever the index like 0 index, then it will map with this. So because we need unique values, if I just want to delete a particular user or delete a particular product, so what I can do using index, I'm going to delete that particular user or whatever the product is. So at start we are getting 0 index. So 0 index will be the key. Then one index will be key. So that's one. I'm going to have paragraph, and already we are getting some data. If I come here, I'm getting data like serial number we are getting. Okay, no problem. So as serial number we are getting, we can directly put it over here. So instead of saying index, I can just say serial number. So it is already available. So right now I'm just going to make a copy of this, and I can come here. I can just replace with this. If you don't have serial number, you can do put the index and then you can get it. So I'm just going to keep it user. As I come here, I'm able to get the user IDs there. So I just wanted to print it also. So I can just make inside curly brackets. I can just say user dot. So whatever the ID is, we just need to print it. I can come here. Mostly I'm going to copy all this information from here and just put it below this. And user ID is like, I will just write it right now. User ID. User dot username. So I'm just saying from below and just writing it because I don't know what the packet is sending me. And similarly, I want a paragraph. I'm just going to have user dot phone number. Phone number. Okay. And then we are getting an email. So I'm just going to say paragraph user, whatever its email is. I just want it over here. Email. Okay, fine. So we'll get it. If I just remove it, I just wanted to stay here like user dot serial number. So I just need to say user dot serial. After this, I just want an HR tag so that it will be moving on next. So as I come here inside backend, and I'm going to say this is like email address. Okay, email address. So I'm just going to copy it, come inside users.js, and I just need to replace with this. So as I have used here a curly brackets over here, so I need to return here. So I'm going to say return whatever the component. And if I come on the page, if I just refresh the page, I'm able to see user ID. Okay, we can just make it formatted like this is user ID colon. Then we can do here user name, then user phone number, user phone number. So whatever information you need to print, and user email. User email. Okay, email. And here also, let's make it capital. So user ID. Whatever the user ID is. As I come on the page, I'm able to see user ID. It will get re-rendered. And if I refresh, so why this 4 is getting printed? Okay, so that's the question. So it's from here. As I come on the page, user ID you are getting username, whatever the information. Individual. We are just return a code. So if I come on the page, okay. So this is the use effect. This is getting loaded. This is giving a request to backend. It is requesting for getting users. So slash users, what slash users is going to do? It is going to send all the information which is available inside array format, array of objects. It will be sent to the front end over here app.js, and as the information comes over here, we are getting when the promise is resolved. Okay, then we are getting the data from here, response.data. We are getting it. We are just setting this data inside set users. So this is a variable. Using this, we are setting it inside this users. So we are passing that information using props. We are having another component which is users. Inside the components folder, I'm having users component. Okay, so I'm passing the data from here to users. So as I come inside users.jsx file, so we are just saying props.users, whatever the attribute we have just created. I just say it attribute, but it is a props. They're passing information from parent to child. So this was the parent component. We are getting information to child component. Now, as I am getting this data, I am returning it. Why we are returning? Because we have used here curly brackets. If I just use here like this brackets, like parenthesis, like circular brackets over here while removing this. So I don't need to return. Okay, it will just make an error. Okay. So if you return only single thing, single div, so that's why if I just refresh the page, there will be no error. So we don't need to read. When we are going to have multiple things inside a particular component, then we use curly brackets. Right now we are just returning one div. So we can use circular brackets whenever the component is unmounted. That means it is removed from the page. If I wanted to see any message, or if I want to execute a code when the component gets unmounted or removed from it, so I can just say return an arrow function and I can pass any message inside it like component was unmounted. So I'm going to pass a message like component was unmounted. Unmounted. Simple message we are going to pass. That component is removed. If I remove this component, I'm just going to make a comment. So you can just see over here component was unmounted. If I want to message that the component is unmounted, or if I want to do any task, I can put it inside this particular code. So this is all about useEffect tool. How was this video? Let me know inside the comment section. If you're new to this channel, please do like, share, and do subscribe, guys, which is very essential for me, and it takes a lot of time while creating these types of content. So please do subscribe, guys, support, and thank you guys for watching this video, and see you in next video.